The very first one that I succeeded in finding on eBay is the Rutles from 1978. Yes, the Rutles. Have you ever heard of the Rutles? They were chiefly a British phenomenon. Basically, they were Monty Python's take on the Beatles. They have spoofs of any number of Beatles songs, like All You Need Is Cash, Cheese and Onions, John Lennon supposedly singing, I have always thought in the back of my mind, cheese and onions. Anyway, they're a terrific bunch of parodies. They were so close, or considered to be so close, even though they were written mostly by Neil Innes. They were so close that the lawyers, the Beatles lawyers, made it all Lennon-McCartney. They just said, look, you stole it, we want all the money. So this has not become a CD. And I don't think it ever was a CD. But I managed to get a copy of this album, and it's in good shape, and I'm going to digitize it. It's great. And the greatest thing, the thing that really was the deciding factor, was Ali Halol. It features one of my favorite, unfortunately no longer living, guitar players, Ali Halol, who was a maestro, a master of the SG, the Gibson SG. Absolutely great. There's an Ali Halol website where you can hear what I'm talking about. You can see some on YouTube. And he played with John Cale. There's some of that on YouTube. But he played with Kevin Ayers for years. Kevin Ayers, formerly of the Soft Machine. Progressive rock from England. And Ali Halol, he died experimenting with heroin. Poor guy. He was in Spain, taking it easy. He was supposed to be keeping somebody else from taking it. And it's a long story. But anyway, unfortunately, he's no longer with us. And his most well-known stuff was on the Rutles albums, and he's not credited because that's how these projects go. The only place you'll find him on the album is posing as Stu Sutcliffe, or the guy who's like Stu Sutcliffe, the early guy who left early. Anyway, he played the guitar and sang on the entire album. Okay, so Ali Halol, the Rutles, that's the first one I'm doing. Then Shake and Push by the Morels. The Morels are a great band out of Missouri. They did play Burlington once. I saw them in Burlington at the Metronome. I saw them backing up Sid Straw. They played with her on an album called War and Peace. They were the Skeletons by then, but this is from when they were the Morels. Anyway, that's great. Shake and Push by the Morels. Big Smash. Thank you very much. Big Smash by Reckless Eric. Reckless Eric is a great, stiff recording artist. That's also 1980. Michael Hurley, his first album, his last album, Live Spirit, Tellin' the Exciters. Can't Stand the Rosillos. There's a great one from 1979. They had a hit called Can't Stand My Baby. So the album was called Can't Stand the Rosillos. A couple of Ry Cooder albums, Live Devo from 1981 from the Freedom of Choice tour. A James P. Johnson album. And Blind Snooksy McEaglin. Blind Snooks McEaglin. Is it Eaglin or McEaglin? The Ray Beats, The Dictators, The Planets. Yes, The Planets album, live at CBGB's with Sarah Lee on the bass. A Marshall Crenshaw album, Lowell Folsom. Lots of stuff. But I'm going to play a couple more songs. In the 10 minutes I have left with you. Let's see now. Dignity. Okay. I am going to sing Bob Dylan's Dignity. Dignity, the demo version. He changed it totally by the time he put it on an album. I think it was Modern Times or one of those, Love and Theft, Modern Times. Dignity. But I liked it the way he first thought about it, which was more of a gospel thing. He plays it on the piano. And I had my pick of verses. Anyway, Bob Dylan, Dignity. Looking in a blade of steel, thin man looking at his last meal, hollow man looking in a cotton field for dignity, wise man looking in a blade of grass, young man looking in the shadows that pass, poor man looking through painted glass for dignity. Somebody got murdered on New Year's Eve. Somebody said dignity was the last to leave. Went into the city, went into the town, into the land of the midnight sun. Searching high, searching low, searching everywhere I know, asking the cops wherever I go, have you seen dignity? Chilly wind, sharp as a razor blade. House on fire, debts unpaid. Gonna stand at the window, gonna ask the maid, have you seen dignity? Someone showed me a picture and I just laughed. Dignity never been photographed. Went into the red, went into the black, into the valley of dry bone dreams. So many roads, so much at stake, so many dead ends, I'm at the edge of the lake. Sometimes I wonder what it's gonna take to find dignity. Dignity, it's now let's see, speaking of dignity, speaking of dignity, I'm going to do one of the less dignified, though I must say it really takes a band to get me to scream and shout, flail, throw myself on the floor. Unfortunately, many times I had a rock and roll band and I still didn't cut loose. I still didn't cut loose. I was always fussing about this or that. Anybody who played with me is nodding. Anyway, but here's a song. I don't. Did I record this? I might have recorded it 10 years ago. Might be on Bit. I did an album called Bit. I did an album called Time Sandwich. I did an album called Instant Classic. I did an album called Why Mess with a Good Thing. I did an album called Be That Way, What Happened? That's a long story, which I will be happy to tell you some other time. I must play this. Call me up when you want me. I don't mind if you haunt me back at my house. I ain't got no company, so call me, call me, call me, call me, call me, call me. Call me, call me, call me, call me, call me, call me, call me on the telephone. I will never seem to know where I'm gonna see you. Out at the opera or back at the pizzeria, you know how to reach me, and I'll make it clear to you. Just call me, 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 call me. Call me on till the phone. Why don't you call me? Call me. Why don't you? Oh, man. Yes. That's from Rockabilly. Rockabilly stuff. Rockabilly, the most thankless task in the world is being a rockabilly rhythm guitar player. You drive yourself crazy. Your fingers are falling off and nobody's listening to you. They're listening to the lead guitar player and the drums and the bass. Boom, boom, boom. They're listening to everything else. But you can't even miss a note because they'll notice. It's great. I played with Robert Gordon over 30 years ago, and I know what thereof I speak. Now, what was that? I'm thinking of an arcane usage that I'm not even using right. Well, friends, we've come to the end of another show. You want to see a bad rendition of my album cover? It's upside down too, for a bonus. It looks much better online, and it's still only a thumbnail. You should have seen the one I sent them, but that has nothing to do with it. Yes, I have a CD, and try it. Sounds better than the sound we're getting because we worked on it a lot. But that's about it. Hang in there.